Welcome back everybody to my garage. It's been about 6 months since I've made a video about the car. I've gotten so many more views than I ever thought I was going to get, and I really appreciate you guys taking a peek. If you guys have not, and this is new to you, this is the first time on here, then please check out some of my previous videos. I go through unboxing of the system, how I did stuff, the prep for it, everything that you might want to know. Hopefully I covered pretty much everything you guys might need. So anyway, it's been 6 months and I have gotten several calls or messages, and you guys are all wondering, how did this thing turn out? How is it 6 months later? And actually, I gotta admit though, I've only put about 300 miles on this thing. And the reason for that is because it's Texas, and during summer, this car gets to about 120 or more degrees inside. And the door panels, in case you guys don't know, they're not upholstered in any way. The upper sill of the door is right where the window is all bare metal, and it's black interior. So you guys can imagine how scorching hot this car gets. I am intending on installing an air conditioning at some point, but all that has to run through committee, and she hasn't agreed upon that yet, so we'll see how that goes. But if I do, I'll probably make some videos on that, but don't hold me to that, okay? Anyway, today's purpose is all about answering that question. How is this thing running? It has been 6 months, it has been 300 miles, and it is still on closed loop, so this thing is still learning. But you know what? I've actually been having a lot of fun with it. We'll go over some of the stuff that I've encountered later, I guess, and yeah, we're gonna take this thing out for a drive right now, and here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hook up the camera and you guys are gonna see me start this thing. It's been about 3 weeks since I've started this thing because I've been traveling for work. But other than that, it's been 3 weeks. We'll see how easily this thing starts, and after that we'll go for a drive, and then you guys can decide for yourselves how this thing is. Remember, it's still learning, and I have not fudged the tables at all on this thing. I want to see how well it learns by itself, and then maybe at the end, when I learn a little bit more, I might just tweak the tables and see how that functions for me. But right now, it's actually been pretty reliable. I have had a couple of problems with it, but really it was assembly issues for me. I'll just tell you one right off the bat right now. One of the things that happened to me is I was going through a roundabout, because Texas is notorious for their stupid roundabouts. I don't know why anybody has them, but we do. And I was making a sharp turn through the roundabout, and my engine died. And couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. And luckily, thanks to the display, it told me my fuel pump wasn't running. Now, did my fuel pump crap out? Did I have an issue with the FiTech mini fuel pump? No. What ended up happening was, luckily that thing told me, hey, your fuel pump isn't running. So I went straight there to look at it, and in 5 minutes I was on the road. And what had happened was, remember on one of my previous videos I said, do not over torque the power wire going to the FiTech mini. Well, apparently I was a little bit too gun shy about it, and I under torqued it, and so that sucker came loose with the vibration of the engine, and so of course it had bad contact, the fuel pump stopped working, and no boom boom, no go go. So anyway, luckily I always carry some wrenches and a basic bag of tools in the trunk of the car just in case. I was able to tighten up that wire, and off I went again. So really, other than that, it's actually been really reliable. So stick around, let's see how this thing runs. All right, well, sadly, it is still 1,000,000 degrees in Texas. I think it's close to 100 today. But we're going to take this thing out for a test drive. The sad part about it is that I'm going to have the windows up so that you guys can hear me. So, but let's give this a try, okay? 3 weeks without starting. Let's give her a go. Heard the injectors kicking in. Success. Here we go. Thing of beauty. Thing of beauty. All right. Let's go for that test drive. Safety first. Belt. Put it in drive. Still warming up. Oh, that's what it used to do with the car. But again, it's still warming up. No matter what you think or how, no, it's still learning, and number one, and so I'm not overly concerned about it yet. But apart from that, it is an old engine. So let's give her another go.
it does kick on right away. Looked great that time. So I adjusted the IAC after the engine warmed up, and I got it back down to about 8. And anyway, we're gonna give it a try now. I don't know why the IAC got out of whack after 300 miles of usage, but it might be something worth looking into if I were you guys. Very responsive, as is per normal. I'm gonna go around the community again, and you guys can tell me. Dude. Like that. It's like that. Again, I did not do one single bit of adjustments to the fuel tables, okay? Nothing. No timing, no nothing. So far so good. We're gonna give this a try. Turn around. Here we go. Oh, stumble. My neighbors hate me. Oh yeah, this thing goes. It goes. So I'm also going to take it down through the streets a little bit. You guys check it out, and then we're going to go on the freeway. Remember, this is a 2-speed power glide, okay? I'm going to hit the freeway, and this bad boy is going to be doing, about 4,000 RPM. So I might get a little loud. I might have to fudge also some stuff having to do with the throttle. Remember, I took away the throttle springs that I added to it because it was just way too much pedal. It was too hard, right? So now I'm just using the built-in spring to the EFI system, and I think it might be a little too touchy. It's one of those things I don't know if there is. Maybe one of you guys knows and could tell me about it. Is there a way for me to buffer this thing so that every single time I just even touch it so slightly, it doesn't just go off the handle on me, all right? If you guys know of something like that, please let me know. This thing is so responsive, so nice. Look at that. Look at that. All right, we'll try the freeway. Let's see how fast this thing can accelerate. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I had to lower the window. It's about 105 out. All right, we're coming up on the freeway entrance here. Hopefully I can pick up enough speed to show you guys how this thing does. Sometimes the freeways can be kind of ugly. Holy smokes. Oh man. Oh yeah. This is freaking awesome. Doing about 65 to 70, 3,000 RPM. This thing's insane. Look it. Try it again. It's freaking awesome. Alright, just like any good old car, I ended up having to go get gas. I didn't realize I was basically on empty. Alright, speaking of that, by the way, I'm getting better gas mileage than I used to get. Now, that doesn't mean this thing is like a modern engine. I'm getting something like maybe 13, 14 miles to the gallon. But then again, I used to get 10 miles to the gallon. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is a win. But still, it's not as though you're going to take this thing on a humongous road trip. So, just letting you know. We're going to start her up again after having gotten some gasoline at the Costco, because Costco has cheap 93, and that is another point. I'm putting 93 in this thing. I'm not putting in no cheapy 87. So, some of you guys that are having some issues with this system, is that it? I don't know. Another thing I also wanted to talk about is the fact that I am not using timing control. You know, I've already heard it from so many people what an idiot I am. I am leaving so much on the table because of timing control. That is true. That is true. This thing should run well with timing control. If you guys don't know, there is a Facebook group of owners of this EFI system. It's called the ACES EFI Owners and Techs. If you're not part of it and you have this system, you should be part of it. Join it. There's a bunch of cool people in there that are willing to give you guys a hand or just pipe up with some like suggestions if you're having any issues with installations or just, you know, problems in general, which there are some. Some people want to know, hey, is this system amazing? You know, it's good, but come on, man. There are people with their issues, just like every other thing out there. It's going to have some issues. Some people get, you know, good and some people get bad apparently, but there are some issues. But a lot of it seems to have to do with the way they got installed. People are making mistakes here and there, and you can't necessarily blame ACES for that. The other thing that I've noticed is one of the reasons why I'm not doing timing control is if you go to that the Facebook group, you'll notice that a lot of the guys who are having issues are the ones who are running the timing control. Look, man, I'm using a regular old distributor from Pertronics. Okay, it's an upgrade. It's you know, it's not points, at least that much. It's electronic, but you know what? I'm not using timing control. It's just a vacuum advance, and I'm not having any of the issues anybody else is having. So, you know, if you want to rag on me, fantastic. I mean, I'll just sit here and laugh at you, I guess. I don't know, because I spent less for my system and it's running well. So it's up to you whether you guys want to do that or not. But anyway, let's start her up again, and we're going to go back on the freeway, although the freeway looks like it's got a little bit of traffic. But I'm hoping to be able to open her up a little bit so that you guys can see what's going on. See how it goes. I always wait on the display to light up, man. I always wait. I've seen guys just and then just start it. I don't know if that's why a lot of people are getting some kind of connectivity issues with this or not. I always wait for the freaking display to light up. You might want to too. Okie dokie. Also remember, the damn system is new. It's still learning. Don't romp on it. If you're gonna romp on it, it's gonna think that that's how you drive. It's gonna do some weird stuff probably to the freaking tables, okay? So just, you know, baby it at first. Even ACES says baby the system at first, drive it normal without freaking romping on it, and guess what I'm doing for you guys? I'm romping on it. But usually, I don't. One of the things that I've heard you guys talking about is how the IAC is showing high when you're in idle. You also got to remember, you have it in drive, right? So you're putting some strain on the engine. The IAC is going to be a little off. Right now, my coolant temperature is running at 200 because it is scorching out there, and my IAC is showing 127, but it's still running smooth. I don't know what to tell you guys, man. I don't think it's supposed to be at 6 to 20 while you're idling in drive, so I wouldn't expect it. If the dang thing runs well, what does it worry you for? Let go of the brake and it just goes. Look at that, smooth. Smooth, smooth as silk. Oh. Of course I want to go on a road trip to show you guys when the freeway is a freaking disaster. Figures. So in the past, don't tell the cops, but I've actually had this thing up to about 90. Short stint, I just wanted to see if it would do it. Smooth also, no problem. Easy acceleration all the way through. Yeah, it hit 90, no problem, and it felt like it could keep going. I think the EFI system, because a lot of people have been asking, it's right around the 930 or 950 CFM range. I can't remember, so don't quote me, but it's right around there. And it's more than enough for my tiny little 327. Yeah, I really wanted to open it up a little bit more for you guys so you guys can see, but it doesn't look like it's in the car. Well, let's see if I just gun it real quick and then hit the brakes. Oh, yeah, yeah, it goes. Is there a slight hesitation? A very, very little one. I think if I play with the tables, I think I can get that to go away. But in the meantime, I'm going to leave it alone and let it continue to learn. Why mess with the tables until it's finished learning? Right now it's still on closed loop. Remember that. If it's closed loop, this thing is still learning. Once it goes to open loop, it's no longer looking at some of the stuff, and it decided, it's good for now. So anyway, let it learn first before you start doing something crazy. Unless, of course, for some reason, your system is not running well out of the box. Also, one of the things that everybody's talking about also, including on the group, is that it's not running right. Look, guys, if you guys started off with the mild settings on your Wizard, why don't you try to revert back to stock and see if that helps you out? Because it'll take off some of the fuel from the tables. You'll start off with a little bit leaner, I think, so you might actually want to give that a try and see if that makes your car feel a little bit better. Another takeaway that I'm going to get off of this one is the fact that she really wants to idle high. Now, I have it set up to 850 RPM, which is what they kind of recommended, but I'm starting to think I'm going to drop it a little lower, because every single time I let go of the gas, she just instantly wants to go. And that could be set because of my setup for the RPM. So maybe I'll change that in the future and give that a try and see if that helps at all. Because, yeah, I'm having to romp on the brake quite a bit. Go, school zone. End of school zone. I love the fact that when I slow down now and make hard turns, it doesn't die on me. I don't know what the hell was the deal with the Edelbach carburetor, but it always had that issue. I'd slow down, make a sharp turn, something had to be clogged in it. Either that or the floats were kind of weird. I tested the floats to see if the floats were the issue. No, the floats were just fine. I measured them so many times, it was freaking ridiculous. Nope. But you know what? This is a lot better. So I'm back in the community now, and I'm happy to be home. Let's go, Parker. Stumble. Now, a few of you guys have actually been asking me, hey, I'm thinking about putting this on a boat. I don't know, man. You might want to think about it. Let me show you why. Sometimes these things stumble. Let me see if I can do it real quick. If I romp on it real quick. Yep, there it goes. There it goes. Once it goes, it goes. But it will stumble sometimes when you really hit the gas hard. So you might want to think about this, of buying this thing for a boat. It might or might not work out. Now, I used to own a boat once upon a year, because I can't afford that anymore. But I used to own a boat, and one of the things you got to do, let's say you want to go water skiing on it or wakeboarding on it, you got to be able to throw the coals to it right away in order to get that boat up on plane and get those people that you're towing behind you to get going. If your boat cannot get up on plane right away because you can't give it the coals, you're not going to be able to have a very good experience. So I'm not sure this will work out well for a boat. It probably will work just fine for a boat, but you are most definitely going to have this thing tuned, okay? You're going to have to send in all that information, go grab a tuner who knows what he's doing, or, you know, if yourself, if you know how to do it. But I'm betting you're going to need to have this tuned. And tuning right now is running something like $400 to $500 per tune, unless you want to do an email tune. And I mean, I guess it's just fine, but it'd be better if you actually learned, right, while you're doing it, so you don't have to freaking every single time something goes wrong, you have to call up the tuner again, and here goes another $400 to $500. So anyway, you might want to think about it with the boat. I'm not so sure about that, because I'm not sure you're going to be able to see. A boat won't function the same as a car does. And what I mean by that is, here, let me put it on. You might want to think about not getting one of these for a boat, because a boat doesn't function the same as a car. And what I mean by that is, a boat is constantly at high RPM. I mean, it's constantly. You're always giving it the coals or bringing it back down, giving it the coals, bringing it back down. The only time you're using very little throttle is actually when you're just coming in and out of the dock, all right? So how is this thing going to learn if you're constantly giving it gas? I mean, a lot of gas. So I'm not so sure this is a good idea for a boat. It probably would work just fine. I'm just saying, I'm not sure I would spend that amount of money on a boat. So it's up to you. You might want to think about it. And if you do decide to go that route, you might want to just realize in the back of your head, whatever it's costing you at the moment, it's probably going to cost you $400 to $500 more in order to get it tuned. Just saying. So thank you guys for coming back and spending some more time with me again. This video didn't have the amount of spit and polish that I wish it did. I haven't had a lot of time to do much of anything lately. I did mention on one of my posts earlier on another video that my dad passed away. So that's been taking up a lot of my time because I have to fly to another state twice a month in order to spend some time with my mom. So I'm sorry this one doesn't have the quality that I was kind of hoping that it would have, but it's the most I can do for now in order to let you guys know what's going on, how it's working, what you guys can expect. And the reason why I'm doing this right now in particular is because I know ACES is having their ginormous sale. So like the entire Killshot system is right around $600, which is what I paid for it on a huge discount. So really, it is a steal at that price. It is a very good price. I would suggest buying it. If you're thinking about it and you're contemplating it, it's a good system, and I would recommend buying it. Now, is it a perfect thing? No, nothing out of the box like this ever is. Heck, my car has a bolt-on exhaust system from a company, and I'm not going to mention it. And that bolt-on system does not bolt on perfectly. So I had to make all kinds of modifications, and it's still just not right. So nothing that's bolt-on is ever going to be perfect. This one is actually very good. For the price, you get a lot of bang for your buck. Now, my car does need a lot of tuning. It probably could stand a lot of adjustments in order to get rid of the stumble, because it does have a stumble when I go to wide open throttle. When I really romp on the gas, it will stumble. But if I accelerate nice and smoothly, it runs like a charm. I'm hoping that that goes away once it finishes learning. We'll see. Maybe in another 6 months I'll do another video and see how it went. But in the meantime, if you guys want to jump on it, jump on it. It's a great price for what it is. And again, think about what you want to do. I personally am not thinking about going to the electronic timing control. So it's up to you. I mean, I know the two of them are supposed to go hand in hand, and they're supposed to be really good together. I don't have an issue using my old-fashioned system. The car runs just fine as is. So please, this is not the be-all, end-all fix of everything. But neither is Holley, and neither is anybody else who makes these things, not even FiTech. FiTech has their issues too. If you want, just go look at some videos about the poor quality workmanship that they have inside of the FiTech ECUs, where the ECUs are going out because they're getting overheated, or the wires. If you look at, there's one video out there on the wires as to how they're barely even soldered onto the circuit boards. So it's up to you who you go to. In general, it is a good system. I think you can expect quite a bit. I have heard a lot of rumblings about their tech support not being as good as it used to be. From what I heard, and I've just seen some posts here and there, and I did see some announcements that they were asking to hire a lot more tech support people, because apparently this system is good enough that a lot of you guys are buying it. So I'm guessing what's going on right now is that they're lacking enough tech support people to be able to efficiently help everybody the way they used to, but it's not as though they're not trying, and they are getting back to people. Again, nothing is perfect, but this is a good system. You guys need to decide how you're going to spend your money by yourselves. I mean, on your own. Figure it out. You know, I hope this video at least clues you into some of the issues that there are out there, and I hope that you guys can use it to make a educated decision on whether this is a good thing for you or not. And I'm just glad that you guys have stopped by and taken a peek at this. Again, I'm not a professional YouTuber. This is not amazing videos, but you know, I'm just trying to get the information out there for you guys. I wish you guys all the best. If you choose to go this route, you know, go for it. Take your time. Do it well. You know, there is no rush. If you're trying to do it because you're trying to make a car show by a particular time, you're just going to end up with failure. Take your time. Do it right. You know, I wish you guys the best success in everything, guys. Y'all take care, and we'll see you in the next time.